Today I will be talking about the history of tobacco. So the history of tobacco is one with kind of a roller coaster of events. It started out in 1492 when Christopher Columbus came to America and found Native Americans growing and using a plant. Sometimes this plant was used for pleasure, but mainly this plant was used for medicinal purposes. This plant was tobacco. Now, it's crazy to think that something looked upon so negatively today was once used to treat people and actually help them at a point in time. To help emphasize how much tobacco has changed, I want to bring in a stat. 1 in every 5 deaths in the US every year is caused by smoking. Tobacco started as a plant using for curing people of diseases and helping them get healthy, and now it is the leading cause of death in the US. So tobacco is looked at by everyone nowadays the same. It's an extremely harmful product that ruins lives. So it's hard to believe that this same product was used for good at some point. But it was, and it wasn't used to just cure one thing. It was used to treat many different symptoms, and it was heavily relied upon. The main things tobacco was used for was colds, fevers, pain relief, an aid to digestion, and prevention of hunger and thirst. In ancient time, tobacco was referred to as God's remedy and the holy herb, and was looked upon as a magic substance that cured almost all diseases. Tobacco was indeed used for good early in time. However, as time went on, people started to realize the negative side of tobacco and the harm it could cause, and soon after, people's views of the plant quickly changed. The first study that linked smoking to cancer was in 1938. The bad news continued a few years later in the 1950s, when tobacco companies realized that their product was harmful, yet continued to market and sell their product because they were making so much money off of it. Even after word got out about how bad smoking is for you, ads like this one were everywhere, and it shows that tobacco companies would stop at nothing to keep making the money they were making. After tobacco was identified as a harmful substance, the plant's reputation plummeted fast. All of the negative statistics we know today about smoking became known by everyone. Like smoking causes most cases of lung cancer, tobacco smoke can trigger an asthma attack or make an attack worse, and smokers are 12 to 13 times more likely to die from lung disease than non-smokers. Another eye-opening number is that 480,000 deaths are due to cigarette smoking in the US each year. Of that number, 29% die from lung cancer, 28% from heart disease, and 8% from other cancers. These numbers are a clear indicator of the extreme danger you put yourself in by consuming tobacco. Today, people use tobacco in all sorts of different ways. The big one is obvious: smoking tobacco. People smoke the dry leaves of tobacco in the form of a cigarette, cigar, or pipe. While these uses of tobacco may not cause immediate damage, smoking tobacco in any form consistently for an extended period of time is extremely dangerous. Tobacco can also be consumed as snuff, chewing tobacco, and dipping tobacco. These forms of consuming tobacco are just as dangerous as smoking it, but may have different negative effects on your body. When you smoke tobacco, you may be more prone to lung cancer, heart disease, emphysema, and on and on. While when you use chewing tobacco, you are more prone to mouth cancer. Ultimately, the tobacco plant went through 3 main stages. It started out being used as medicine and used to treat illnesses, then went to people being skeptical about its negative effects and didn't know whether to trust the big cigarette corporations or not, and now it is widely known as one of the most dangerous substances there is. The final conclusion. The overlying factor is that through all of these stages, a large number of people use tobacco, no matter how good or how bad it seemed to be. Tobacco made a complete 180 and went from good to evil. The shocking thing is, how were people back in the 1500s using tobacco without any knowledge of the horrible things it could do to your body? It took us over 400 years to realize, but we now know how horrible tobacco is for us, and now we need to work on getting rid of it as a whole.